Great. This is Rob and Esme. They're coming up as a couple because they are one. A married couple, in fact. And they've become great friends of ours, as indeed all the people getting baptised have. So we're going to interview them as a couple. They're going to get baptised as individuals because there's not enough room for we've never done a double baptism. That could be fun. But anyway, not today. So firstly, Rob and then Esme. Do you want to just say a little bit introduce yourselves, who you guys are?
Hello everyone, my name's Rob McDowell. I was born in Malawi in Africa, and I'm married to Esme, and we have a 2-year-old son called Pax, and I have a 12-year-old daughter in Africa. I run safaris out to Africa and also renovate houses in my free time.
My name's Esme. I'll skip the family stuff. I was brought up in Newlyn and now live in Mousel. But I had a long spell in London and Germany and other countries in between.
Great, thanks guys. And you're getting baptised today. Do you want to just start by telling us one at a time how you've come to know Jesus Christ for yourselves?
I went to boarding school at about the age of 11, and it was an all-boys school, Christian school. And I think spending most of my life, young life at boarding school, and then afterwards having kind of friends and peers and the lifestyle that I lived, it was a non-Christian lifestyle. It was a little bit off the path that we should normally take. And it wasn't until my mid-20s where I was doing some work in Zimbabwe, and I had the opportunity to spend some time with a guy called Rob out there. And Rob is a guy that was in the military as a teenager, and then went on afterwards into anti-poaching and to become a safari guide, a real hard man of Africa that I was a bit intimidated by. And after about 3 days, we were under the stars one night talking as you would do, and then there was a gentleness to him that was kind of weird. And then he said he was a Christian, and then he told me how he became a Christian, and how one day he had been beaten by an elephant and was lying there ready to die, and he opened his eyes and he was looking up at the elephant, and he basically said, this is it. And he closed his eyes and he prayed, and he stayed alive. And to me that was really important, because it opened my life to kind of knowing that Jesus was out there. And I subsequently have prayed on several occasions when I've been close to various things out in Africa.
They're good stories, though. You need to ask those over too.
But it wasn't until about 10 years later when I met Esme, who started taking me to church, that I wanted a little bit more, wanted to know a little bit more. But it kind of was on a level playing field, and I didn't actually go out there seeking. And it wasn't until the last couple of months of coming to Light and Life that I started to know more about Jesus, and more so when we saw a bit about the Passion recently, and really realizing that Jesus gave his life for me on the cross to take away all my sins. And then I thought, wow, who else would do that and take away my sins? There have been a few of them.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Rob. Esme, do you want to do the thing?
Yeah, I've been a Christian since I was 13, and I was baptised as a baby, so I think that was my mother's intention. And I've had some really good role models, particularly my adopted godfather, Dick Sampson, who was a really strong man of faith. And I've been to many different churches in the different places I've lived. I've been part of a Roman Catholic church, Pentecostal churches, Baptist churches. For me, it doesn't make a difference. It was wherever Jesus was a focus, and it felt alive. But recently, I've been conscious of dragging around quite a lot of guilt and fear. Some of the things that I set out intending not to do, particularly not to have sex before marriage, for example, but which I ended up doing. And that I realised I wanted to ask forgiveness for properly. I tend to overcomplicate things and spend a lot of time thinking about them, but it was recently in a service that I realised actually it's quite simple and I just have to ask and receive it, and I felt a lot of peace and calmness after that.
Great. You're going to get dunked as well, which is fantastic for us. But for you, what does it mean? Why are you getting baptised today?
I think for me, the real reason is wanting to clean my spirit and to get all my sins forgiven, and to totally commit myself to Jesus and put my faith in Him, and really a new start.
Yeah, fantastic.
It feels right to jump in with 2 feet and not to be hot and cold, which I think I've done. And it feels particularly right to do it with Rob. We've always had Jesus in our relationship, but I'd like to pull him in a bit closer.
Great, let's give it back. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Well done, Rob. Great. You enjoying this? It's good fun, isn't it? Yeah, we should do this every week. If some of you want to get baptised, we could. Anyway. Amanda, do you want to come up next? Let's give Amanda a clap as she does. Over from Hale. Great. Welcome, Amanda. Just want to start by sharing a little bit about who you are as a person.
All right. I'm Amanda, and I live in Hale with my 6-year-old son, Brandon. And I'm in my first year of a fine art degree.
Great. And you are getting baptised today. Do you want to tell us how you've come to know Christ for yourself first?
I grew up going to church, but stopped when I was about 15. The last 10 years have been really hard. I've moved down from London and ended up making some really bad choices. I fell into a world of drugs and fell pregnant at 18. I just managed to get out of an abusive relationship when I met Gillian Cross at our son's playgroup. Looking back, I can see God was definitely helping me out. She told me about Light and Life, starting in Hale, and I went along to the first meeting where I felt instantly at home. I felt an enormous relief that day. I'd fought against all the bad in my life and had made it back to Him. That day I asked Jesus back into my life. It was a great day. The last 3 months have been a bit of a roller coaster of emotion and discovery, and with the help of so many new friends, it's been great. I feel so much more confident now that I can cope with temptations put before me. It's a journey I'm definitely enjoying and looking forward to continuing with Jesus by my side.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well done. Superb. And today you're going to get wet. What does this mean to you, Amanda? Tell us why you're getting baptised.
Well, I've definitely been stuck between my old and new lives. Having so many questions here and there, and I just feel I need to just let go and say goodbye to that life forever and say hello to a new one with Jesus.
Fantastic. Superb. Well done, Amanda.